Welcome back to the channel, my friends. What a beautiful, beautiful day, and I thought we'd seize the opportunity and take a look at some GMTs. This is not a fully detailed, in-depth comparison and telling you what to buy and what not to buy. These are my 4 current GMTs that I have in my collection, and I thought I'd just show them to you, talk a little bit about what you get at a certain price point and what a Microbrand can offer you and what a big brand like Seiko will not offer you at a certain price, why that is, why that might not be. I've always said I'm not an expert, not a watch expert or guru in any way, so these are just my feelings. I'm just putting it out there, showing you the watches, and you can form your own opinion about them. But enough from me, enough from my face. Let's head on over to the table, take a look at some 4 great GMTs, and let's do the video. Let's go! Okay, so here we are at the table, taking a look at some GMTs. Here is the box, my trusty little 3-watch box, and here we have the GMTs that we're going to be comparing today, and also on my wrist we have the last one. 4 GMTs. We're starting with the cheapest of the bunch and with my newest watch. This is the Seiko 5 Sports Field Style GMT, reference number SSK023K1. And as I said in the unboxing of this watch, I actually got this watch sent to me from my nice friend Anders at Stjärnormakarna Kalmar. I'm gonna put a link up right here if you want to buy from him. He's a really nice guy with a really nice store. He's a Seiko premium reseller, so you can get a bunch of models from him that you cannot get from other places. And yeah, I really recommend you give them a call if you want something, because they don't have a full-on website for their watches. But anyway, enough about that. This is the Seiko 5 Field GMT, and specifications on this watch, we're gonna run through them really quick, as I'm gonna do with all the watches here, and then we're gonna talk about some comparisons. So diameter 39.4 millimeters, thickness is 13.6 millimeters, the lug to lug is 47.9 millimeters, and the lug width is 20 millimeters. We have a Hardlex crystal. We have 100 meters of water resistance. The crown is not a screw-in crown. You see, I can spin it around without popping it out. We have a date window at the 3 o'clock. GMT function. It's a collar GMT, not a true GMT. And we have an in-house movement. It is the Seiko 4R34 in-house movement, 24 jewels, 21,600 vibrations per hour, and it has a 41 hour of power reserve. The thing with these 3 watches that I'm showing you here in the beginning is that they all come with the same movement. So basically the heart of these 3 watches is the same. So you're not getting anything different there. The accuracy is the same. I mean, they're individually calibrated, but the specifications are the same for the movement there. So that's why this is quite of a fun comparison to have here. What you're paying for this watch at retail, it differs from site to site, but the most common price that I could find this watch at is $456 US. I've made the conversion from Swedish to US dollars. It's about 5,000 Swedish crowns. Nice drilled lugs, all brushed bracelet, push pins on the bracelet, 3-fold clasp here with the Seiko branding right there, pressed metal clasp, open case back, which is a nice little detail that you get. And yeah, that's the Field GMT. I'm gonna put this one to the side right now, and we're gonna introduce the second competitor. It's not a competitive video, it's more of a informative video. But the second guy here, this is the Seiko 5 Sports GMT Yuto Horigome limited edition, 2,700 pieces made, and the reference number is SSK027K1. Beautiful blue and purple coloring there, or is it called fuchsia? I still don't know how to pronounce that word. We're gonna just take it off the little pillow, put the Nezumi to the side right there. And, this is a black PVD coated watch. It is a stunning watch on wrist and in hand, and as you can see, it is the new Seiko the new Seiko 5 Sports GMT model, just blacked out and with a new bezel insert. Beautifully done. Some specifics and details about this watch is it has a black PVD coating, as I said, and it feels really nice. It has a matte finish to it, and the central links on that bracelet are actually polished, but the whole watch gives you that little matte finish. The brushed portions are matte finished, and the glossy shiny portions are really shiny black there, like staring down a black hole. Diameter 42.5 millimeters, thickness 13.6 millimeters. The lug to lug is 46 millimeters, and we have a lug width of 22 millimeters. We have a hard legs on this watch as well. We have a 100 meters of water resistant. The crown is not screw in, as you can see, just like on the Field GMT. We have a date window at the 3 o'clock with a Cyclops magnification, and yeah, the bracelet is also with push pins. We have the same type of clasp here, 3-fold clasp, pressed metal, even though it's black, and an open case back with the skater Yuto Horigome's signature right there, and it says limited edition, and it actually is a numbered limited edition. You have the number right there. So a beautiful watch, and it has a lot in common with the Field GMT more than the movement. These two watches both come from Seiko, obviously, and they have the most in common. They both have date windows. They both have 100 meters of water resistance. They both have Hardlex crystals, not sapphire. They both have screw pins for the bracelet. They both have the same style of clasp, 3-fold clasp, pressed metal. Both have open case backs, and so they have a lot of similarities, even though this watch is actually a lot more expensive. This watch is, if you can find it, $685, so it's more than $220 more than the Field GMT. It's basically the same watch, specifics and details wise, same movement, same accuracy. Most of the things here are actually the same. Sure, the Field GMT doesn't have a turning bezel. This one has. It's actually a bidirectional bezel. It's a friction bezel with no clicks, which is great because Seiko usually screw up the alignment on those bezels on the watches below $700. So it's a good thing it's a friction bezel. But yeah, they're practically the same. But this is a limited edition, and you're paying $230 more for this one. The basic model, the basic Seiko 5 Sports GMT that is not a limited edition, is actually around the same price that you can buy the Field style GMT. I think it might be $100 more or something like that. But yeah, those are the two Seikos. Let's put them to the side, and let's take a look what a Microbrand can bring to the scene and can offer you for your money. So this is the Nezumi Aviera GMT, and this is actually the first model. It released last year, I think. They have a new model out now with Miyota movement instead, but that is $200 more expensive, and I thought that this would be a cool comparison because this is a watch that utilizes the same movement as those two. It brings a lot to the table in form of specifications comparing to those two guys, and we're gonna talk about that. I'm just gonna move the hour and minute hand out of the way there to give it a more appealing look. There we have it, Nezumi Aviera GMT. beautiful watch, designed in Sweden, Stockholm, hand assembled in Germany. Sure, it probably has a bunch of Chinese parts and a Japanese movement, but it is hand assembled in Germany. And yeah, you take with that whatever you want to take. Specifications on the Nezumi Aviera GMT are: we have a diameter of 40 millimeters, we have a thickness of 12 millimeters, and 1.5 millimeters for that domed sapphire crystal. So the thinnest of the bunch here, 12 millimeters. And we have a lug to lug of 47 millimeters. The lug width is 20 millimeters. We have a sapphire crystal. We have 200 meters of water resistance. A screw-in signed crown. Nice metal bracelet, all brushed, even on the sides. We have a threefold clasp, but this time it's actually full metal, milled steel. No pressed metal stuff, it's milled steel. We have a signed case back, beautiful there. Nezumi, Stockholm, creating bonds, established 2011. And then we have some specifications on that ring around the case back there. And the movement in here is also the Seiko 4R34. So we have the same movement with one little caveat. They actually have a hidden date. They didn't choose to give this watch a date window, even though the movement inside of it comes with a date window. Don't know why they did that. It's a design thing. I think they preferred the uniform look of the dial like this. We have the numerals of 12, 3, 6, and 9. And yeah, I would have loved a date window of this watch, but I'm not a designer, so it might have been less appealing then. This might be, since I haven't seen the version with a date window, since there is none, I cannot say if it would look better or worse, but it is what it is. It doesn't have a date window, and that's actually a minus for some people, a plus for some people. But it has to function, it just doesn't show the date. So, what do you get when you decide to buy a Microbrand like Nezumi here, and when you decide to buy a well-known mega brand like Seiko, one of the biggest brands in the world, most famous brands in the world, and a fairly unknown Microbrand from Sweden? Well, this watch in this configuration with the Seiko movement did cost $548. So it was just barely $100 more expensive than the Field GMT, and it was actually $120 less expensive than the Yuto Horigome GMT. And what do you get? Hardlex crystal, sapphire, domed sapphire crystal with AR coating, which is, in my eyes, a crucial improvement. Every day of the week, every day of the month, every day of the year, I prefer a sapphire crystal than the Hardlex crystal. I don't care about the bullshit that Seiko is trying to convince you with, that the Hardlex crystal is less prone to crush when impacted. I've owned watches for like 25, I guess I'm old now, 30 years with sapphire crystals. I've never had a sapphire crush on me, so it's a bullshit excuse, I think. Nothing wrong with Hardlex. I haven't seen any scratches on these two babies yet, but I have had Seikos with Hardlex crystals that I have experienced scratches with. I have never got to experience a scratch on a sapphire crystal today, so that's a crucial improvement that you get on this watch. And another improvement that you get on this baby is the screw-in crown and 200 meters of extra water resistance. I'm not a diver, but it's still a great thing to have, especially that screw-in crown. And it's a signed crown. I mean, with Seiko, I love them. I love the brand now. I didn't love them as much before, but I do really like them now. But I mean, there is some lazy design things going on around here with not signing that little crown there. It's not hard to do. It wouldn't cost you a lot, but it is what it is. So, but the new version of this one, I don't know if it's an improvement because I haven't made any comparisons between the movements, but the new movement with the Miyota is actually more expensive. It is more expensive than either of these, but the old one, this one with the same movement inside, less expensive than this one and just $120 more expensive than this one. So in the middle, but you get sapphire, screw-in crown, and you get a fully designed watch. I mean, I'm gonna talk about that a little more in a minute. Fully designed watch. So largest one is by far the Yuto Horigome version, 42.5 millimeters in diameter, but it has the shortest lug to lug of 46 millimeters, so it really slopes down straight away, and it actually on the wrist, I don't feel like this watch is bigger than any of these because they have a longer lug to lug, and even though this is a wider watch, it just appears wider on the wrist but not larger. It doesn't overhang by any way, and the largest watch on this list in the lug to lug department is actually the Field GMT. Even if the Field GMT has the smallest diameter of the case, it has the longest lug to lug with 47.9, and that might make it appear the largest on your wrist based on those lugs anyway. And yeah, those are the three watches with the same movement and with the difference in price. I'm just gonna put them to the side right there, and now we're gonna talk about the big boy. Last one out is the Rolex GMT Master 2. There it is, my grail, all-time grail watch. Here we have it, Rolex GMT Master 2, reference 126710 BLRO. Specifications: diameter 40 millimeters, thickness is just 12 millimeters, lug width is 48 millimeters, and lug to lug is 48 millimeters. The lug width is 20 millimeters. We have 904L steel on this baby. We have a sapphire crystal with a really probably the best Cyclops in the business, or one of the best out there. We have a ceramic bezel, also called Cerachrome by Rolex, and the movement inside this baby is the caliber 3285 in-house Rolex movement, 70 hours of power reserve, beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It has a blue Parachrome anti-magnetic hairspring and a lot of other technical details. And the accuracy of this one is -2 to +2 seconds a day. It's COSC certified and also Rolex certified. It's one step above COSC certification. Water resistance is 100 meters. And the price of this one, if you get it at retail, $10,900 US. So almost $11,000. And that's really, really ridiculous. I mean, I should have done the conversion here, but I'm gonna put it right up there, a lot of times more expensive than either of these watches. And sure, you get a ceramic bezel insert, you get a far superior movement with far superior accuracy, nearly double the power reserve here. You have just 100 meters of water resistance. I mean, the Aviera beats that out. 904L steel, if that's an improvement. Some say that 904L steel actually scratches more easily than the 316L steel does, but it is what it is. Sorry if I forgot to tell you about the bracelet here. Jubilee bracelet, screwed links, which is a really nice improvement in my eyes, a crucial improvement. And the clasp is a 3-fold all metal clasp with the Rolex logo right there and with the lock mechanism right there. And then we have the 5 millimeters easy link extension within the watch. It's not a glide lock, it's not nearly as good as a glide lock, but it gives you 5 millimeters on the move if you need it, if you want it, right there. Yeah, that's the Rolex. I'm just gonna fold it back in. It's hard to do in camera. There we go. Yeah, my grail watch But I'm realizing when I do these kinds of videos that it's so overpriced that it's actually ridiculous. The thing with these watches is that you pay a lot for the brand. With Rolex, you pay a ridiculous amount for that brand. But I would also say that with Seiko, you also pay quite a lot for that branding, because there are many, many watches out there that give you superior specifications and at a far less expensive price. Today I only have these 4 watches to compare with, but even then, the Aviera, specifications wise, with the same movement, beats out these Seikos, and it is less expensive than this one. You might actually argue that this is a limited edition, so it's not a fair comparison. But even if you would compare the Aviera with the regular GMT, it would beat it out with the same movement, hand assembled in Germany, and it would still beat it out, because the Seiko is actually a inferior watch if you take a look at the specs. If you're not a die-hard Rolex fan, then you might actually argue that the Seiko is better. But even though it doesn't have 200 meters of water resistance, even the Rolex doesn't have that. But it's
2 hours later.
I'm gonna put the watches back where they belong. The Rolex belongs on my wrist today. There it is. And the other guys, they belong in the case. No, I'm gonna actually shoot some B-roll with the watches, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna see you in a second. That's all for today, folks. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and as usual with my videos, I guess you've learned nothing, because I'm not here to teach anything. I'm just here to give you my opinions. So if you liked one of these 4 watches, please let me know which one did you like the most. Write me a comment. I would love to read your thoughts about these 4 guys. Any thoughts about value, any thoughts about sapphire crystal versus Rolex, please write them down. I'm really excited to read your thoughts. And as usual, if you liked the video, consider giving it a thumbs up. That means a lot to me. And if you loved the video, which I really hope that you did, please consider subscribing. That means even more to me. Oh, sorry. And if you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down. Tell me what you didn't like, and I'll try to do better until the next one. And until I see you again, my friend, I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.